All right, let's load this up. Okay, well, this is awesome because whenever I don't link it, the bot doesn't send it. Whenever I link it, the bot sends it. So let me send this now. All right, this should be good now. Yo, what's up, Abdullah? Thanks for being here, man. You're always one of my first people in here. I just now loaded up my chart, so I was seeing what's up. Morning, ST. Doing good, man. Slept pretty good. I don't really check futures overnight, so I always like to make sure that's the very first thing I look at in the morning, just so I can get a good picture of like the vibe of how much has happened. Clearly, we're in a really good range, so I'm very happy with that, because that means most of these tickers should have a really good range. It's going to work really well for the BB system, especially because most of your previous day lows and pre-market lows should be close to the same. And if we have any break above, you have previous day high and the old pre-markets and all the other good levels to worry about. So we have tons of levels to go off of here. So I'm excited about that. Morning, everybody. Thanks for being here. Just kind of waiting a couple minutes because we have so much time and I don't have time to... if I go through early and choose these levels, they'll most likely change, so I don't ever go mark them. So if you guys want me to chart anything beforehand, let me know. Or just go look at something. I'm actually going to rechart beyond. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Alright, let's stick with that. It's like we've broken this weird downtrend. But ever since it's done that, it's just range trade, which is good. This is what you want to see with a stock like Beyond. It's very volatile, so you want to see it form a good long base. So as you can see here, we've had multiple days of just sideways action. So now I'm kind of focused on this. So let's go from here. Let's go from the wicks on that one. Yeah, so you can see we have like a broadening channel from the out. But as you can see, it's kind of lowered off a little bit because it keeps hitting the same resistance and coming back down. But as you can see, the lows aren't any higher or lower. You know, in the daily, it might look crazier with wicks, but right here on the 4 hour, it shows you very clearly what support we've been holding. The 130 is definitely the support we've been holding, so going to be looking for below on that on Beyond. I don't even have to chart pre-market now on that one. Let's look for a good like resistance that's pretty close that we could use as a good break above. I like that because this is a good support that turned into resistance, or that's trying to at least. As you can see, it was hit there and there. So maybe that'll be our level. We'll have to see though. Let's see pre-market. Actually, that would be a perfect spot. We could almost raise it to like right here just to accommodate for yesterday's price action. That'd be perfect though. And we already have a good first target. I can mark previous day high. We already have our targets from the bigger time frame. So actually, we could just add Beyond already. Do Twitter? All right, we're going to Twitter now. Remind me to come back to Beyond so I can add that to the list if we do need to. See? Good range. It's up a little bit and it's in a range. That's perfect. Okay, yeah. So we've been covering Twitter just because of a pattern that popped up. And if you guys don't have the course, you guys should definitely cop that. We're adding more to it every other week just about. But as you can see, we had like a double engulfing here. This was kind of a... This would have been good, I guess, if you just held through it. But you got another one, so it ended up popping up. And it's even cool because it's lower, too. You know, you got your high here, and then you got another one. So it's just another confirmation on top of the pattern and price action we already have here. And then we played this for the overnight. That was a good play. It actually ended up going through and sending us in the money because we had 68s and 67s, and we went in the money on both that day. So that was really crazy. So we just called out full take profit on this candle just because I was already happy with how big of a move that was. But as you can see, we definitely would have made a lot more if we held till today, or yesterday, sorry. But still looking good. As you can see, it's on top of a support that I have drawn here. And these purple lines mean I've had this drawn a while. Yeah, so that gap range, it's a perfect spot. I don't know why I highlighted this range, but I didn't highlight this range. Because this is where the gap is. I must have been displaying some sort of retest or something to somebody. I definitely drew that. Came back up, hit new trend, so now we have a defined trend line from above. And we have our supports from below. So now we know it's up on Twitter. So it looks like Twitter's in a pretty prime spot too. This is definitely going to be a good break below if it's not already below it. Yeah, it's right on top of it right now. So I'd watch below this on Twitter today, 65.30. Just because that'll get you past the extended hours. That'll get you past previous day low. So that's past your historic level that you were planning on shorting under already. And then now you have a better level. So I just use the 65.30s for below. And then above, I'd honestly just use this PMH. You can honestly even raise it if you want to, just because there's a good resistance here. Support, turn, resistance. So you know that's a good break below, or break above, sorry. But yeah, you could just set it to here too if you wanted. Have that as your first entry. Just have your risk reward. You know, if you enter any of these trades, and I do this in the live stream trade whenever we're in chat, I'll always tell people, like, you know, this isn't just entry. You know, if you enter this right here, and this is your first target, or this is your entry, you know, this needs to be, like, somewhere around here needs to be your stop loss. Like, if you're entering here and the price comes back up and retest, like, you should be able to hold through a retest. That's my point, you know. But if price doesn't retest and it goes through, you know, you need to know when to cut it. So start having your stop losses already planned out before you're in the trade. Targets as well. As you can see, I'm already figuring out my targets for all these trades, and that's because I want to be, you know, ready before the day's even begun. I want to be ready before the stock's even moving. So it's all about preparation. All right, so let me start adding a couple things to the list now that we're past 7:40 my time. I'll hit square as I'm going through it. Abdullah, I got you. All right, so back to Beyond. I need to make sure and remember to put that. We might as well put Twitter on there again too, because that's a pretty significant level y'all can see on the bigger time frames. We'll go through some stuff there. Let's go back to the 30. make this smaller. There we go. Might as well put that last one. Every time I don't put a fourth target, it hits the fourth target. So now that I put the fourth target, it'll probably just go to the first two. So let's play the psychology on that. Let's just say below. See, it's kind of like on Twitter. See, like this is the level I'm looking to short under, but we do have a good support here that we could just wait for. So it might make us wait longer, but it's a better level. Plus, you want to be sure if this thing goes under because, as you could see on the 4 hour, how many times this level has saved the stock price. So even if this only gives you a good day trade or scalp opportunity, you know, you may see price pull back up end of day, or before end of day, I'm sorry, trying to pull itself back up above this level again. I saw 2 wicks on this level, so that price has gone under it before, but it's never stayed under it before on this recent trend. So very important to note that. Alright, so our targets for below, I'm going to do that low there because it's a clear area of support. 27. What was the other one? It was Twitter. Let's go back to the 4 hour. Oh, that's the daily. But here, even on the daily, you can see it. Good support from the gap range. We've gone and filled it once. So honestly, this would be like the perfect spot for a support catch. I'm not saying it breaks trend line, I was just pointing up. But that'd be perfect too. Rule 1, Rule 2, Rule 3 being the one that pushes through. Or it just hits this and goes back through, and that's the one that sends it down. So we'll have to see on that. Depending on the market too. So we'll have to see how the market trades, but I like Twitter, so it's good for small accounts too. You just can't trade it every single day. You have to realize that. You can't sit here on your screen all day and force trades. Don't overtrade or anything, but like perfectly tested that. That's like the literal perfect example of what a gap range is supposed to do. Whether this is uptrend or not. Alright, so I think I got that one. Let's mark that. Let's mark this gap range. Yeah, let's go with that. Support, support, resistance, jump rope, perfect resistance, support from breakout. So yeah, I'm definitely keeping that marked. Right there. Support, turn resistance, 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 support, 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 fell. Alright, yeah. Sticking with that. So yeah, with Twitter here, we have a lot of options. That's probably what I'd mark. This is above 66.17, below 65.30s. And then you have targets on every side for a good minute. Actually, I'd probably mark that one too. Alright, now you have targets for every side. So if you guys want to play that, that'd be a good play. I don't know if I'll add that to list or not, but that's a good breakout. Good breakout. Good first target. Good first target. And anywhere in between as well, there's another strat you can do. It's Chef does this a lot. You could just set a trail stop. So if you set a tight trail stop, depends on what ticker it is. You know, if you're on Amazon, keep it kind of tight. But if there's other tickers, you can keep it kind of loose on and just to kind of monitor it. You know, therefore you should never go negative in the trade. So just good insurance. As you guys can see, I do a lot of charting for people, just going through things. That's probably like 4 charting sessions all in one chart. Whoops. Let's mark that. Ooh, I gotta mark that gap. That's probably why those 2 lines were yellow. See, Square is one of the stocks that just has like a crazy uptrend on its daily. It's converging now. Inside of its highs and lows. This would be the perfect level to test right here, really. Very strong resistance from before broken out. Didn't really hold support on it yet, so if it's trying to hold support, it's probably trying to do it right there on top of that level, which is what it's doing with those wicks. So to see how Square is today, but it's definitely doing some good action here. So let's just go ahead and mark our levels. I think I have everything I need. Let's see. There's a good support right there. That's also resistance from here, but I was kind of focusing on this. Let's mark another one. Okay, that was weird. Alright, Square. You made the list finally. I don't always add Square. We day traded almost every day in voice chat and talk about it, but we don't ever add it to the list for some reason. I always like underestimate Square too. I always mark like really close targets, like, oh, it's only gonna go $1 or $2, and then it goes like $12, and it's like just up really big on the day. I want to mark that one too. It's this gap range here. It's all the way to 255. So let's do 253 and then 255, and then we'll move on. Below 241.75 for puts. And if you guys want to see results of these lists every day, you can see Steven or me post them in the Watchlist review. Post results every single day. What is the fee for voice chat? Just any role in chat. It doesn't matter even what membership you get. We have a few different types of memberships, so it's just kind of whichever one you want. I just had to check PayPal since you said Square. I had to go check it. It looks like it's ready to retrace about here. I only say that because you got 3 white soldiers, push up, gap, price comes down, bearish engulfing, so it should come down to 260. Alright, cool. Let's go check Roku. I always just like to check Roku. I don't add it to the list every day either. Okay, yeah, we had trend, change. Now we're having the breakdown of that trend line, which is not surprising. It's not always like the most bearish thing, like seeing this. You know, what this means is it's trying to go find a base. So if it's going down to here, that'd be perfect. Because what is that again? A higher low. So that's okay. Just kind of looking for that kind of base to start forming somewhere. So just not going to rush it or try to make up one. Said Baba. I guess I don't have to rechart it. Delete some of these lines. Clicked right on that one. Oh, it has a really, really nice pre-market too. You have to mark yesterday's low. That's a really, really good range. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, man, I'm really excited for today because I don't think people realize, like, if you just go look at the BB system and go look at the market, it is perfect right now. All these ranges are super tight. You just got to be patient and not get faked out. Just wait for the volume to come in, wait for the candles to close, wait for market sentiment, wait for all that. You know, there's no need to trade the first 10 minutes of every day, lose all your money and all that good stuff when we have hours to trade every day. There's so much opportunity. I think I called that Zoom like midday yesterday. So, or right after voice chat or during the end of voice chat. You know, that's like that's like an hour and a half, 2 hours in. You know, so there's plays every day at any time of the day. You just got to be looking for them. Can't force it. But yeah, Baba looking good. Above for calls, below for puts. There's a good resistance here that you can kind of double confirm with just from yesterday's price action. Besides that, you're looking pretty good, even just on bigger time frames. And then below, it's looking good. Oh, and I didn't even touch up on your point either. ST's point was also that there's still some gap to fill, and he is correct on that. As you can see here, there's a gap right here. Let me delete this other crap line. But as you can see here, there is a gap range in which Baba is filling. So even if it doesn't fill today, doesn't fill tomorrow, doesn't matter. The fact that it's filled most of it is pretty good. So it should end up filling back all of it, you know. So it should come back down here, hit this, and probably form a base, I would assume. You know, this is probably where it'd form its base for more bigger time frame trading, just because there's already a good support there. Good old past resistance turning support. So that'd be a really, really good spot for that. So that's going to look good. BA is another one we have to check every day. This one always has plays. I can delete this chart and show you exactly all you need to mark. All you got to mark is this one, that one, zoom in, mark that one, that gap range, this gap range, this resistance, and this resistance. Now you have pretty much everything you need. You can mark a couple more to the downside because you do have that wick, and then that one, and then this gap range. So you have everything you need now. Perfect. Might as well add BA to the list, I guess. BA is always a really, really good play. So we'll do under true previous day low. And we can leave this for this entry, but that's $1.25, so might as well just wait for that better breakout. This one I think I'll leave though. And I'll adjust that one a little. Alright, so let's do Boeing. Oops, I was just gonna type below for puts. And below what? Actually, okay, I went with the passive one on both sides. This is still good scalp opportunities, though, is what I want to reiterate to everyone, though. Like, even just from here to here, here to here, that's actually really profitable, even just for a scalp. It's all about momentum, though. You can't just sit in your position. You know, it's kind of like get in, get out. It's the whole point of scalping, though. But those are those kind of opportunities you get when you do the BB system, just because there ends up being like good ranges in between the bigger time frame levels and then your smaller time frame levels. So you end up getting a handful of it all. Let me just zoom that out so I can see everything. I'm just debating if I even find another target. Is that enough? Probably not. Knowing Boeing, if it does have a pretty crazy day. Okay, I don't have to mark that one. It's already marked. Let's go the 4 hour. Like right in the smack dab middle of this range is this resistance. That's pretty weird. It's like perfectly. Alright, back to this. Let's mark that support. So yeah, that's what I figured 220 would be the next one. So I'm going to do different then. And if you guys want a cheaper airline to play, I'll also be calling these out in chat. But Delta's a really, really good one that's been giving pretty much daily plays. And even J-Bake's been calling this one out. It's one of my top dudes right now. He's killing it. But I didn't even trade Delta a whole lot. Jason got me on it. I used to only trade American Airlines. I wanted to check Netflix. Do not trade this today. I was just looking for earnings. NEO's got a really nice range on it. That's all I'm going to mark. Just BB system. I'm going to come back and I'm going to see these levels hit later. Or NVIDIA's just never going to leave its range. Even better. Whenever you see me add extra levels that aren't on the chart, they're probably just psychological. That's what those are. 603, 10. Alright, real quick, guys, let me post this around in my chat real quick, and then I will chart whatever you guys desire. I just opened Spotify on accident. Did not mean to do that. If you guys are still in here, thank you so much. Glad to have you all. Alright, it is posted in the chat. Make sure to go check out that list if you guys want to go put that on your chart. But it is just as easy as just setting those levels and watching the volume, being patient, and sitting there. If you happen to be in chat, you get to watch it with us. So that's cool too. We also watch SPY and NASDAQ pretty much the entire session. You'll hear us call that out a gazillion times every day. just because it is very important to see what's the overall market doing. If you guys would like a streaming session on just indexes one day, that'd be pretty cool. I could do that. Just go through how I chart indexes and how I monitor them and play with them. Because even if you don't trade futures, you should at least be watching SPY and NASDAQ just to see what's going on. As well as checking your other ones. You know, it's not just SPY and NASDAQ. I touch on those the most because that's what we trade around the most. But there's other sectors. You got the Dow Jones, you got the Russells. So there's a lot to look at. And then you got your other ETFs that are for different sectors, like TANs for solar, JETS for airlines, XLF for banks. And then you got your XLs, to all ton XLE, XLU, all those kind. I'd say a notable play that we didn't put on the list though is Twitter. So I'm gonna add it now. Alright, I posted Twitter too. Sorry for the extra spam in chat, guys. Just had to post that. That was a pretty good one. Alright, my bad, guys. If you're in stream, what are we looking at? Check out Chewy. Alright, got you. I just saw David talking about Chewy in chat. Let me see what you're all talking about. Let's see what David said real quick. David said, not liking many tickers for day trade setups, just liking Chewy below previous day low and Netflix is on Watt, blah, blah, blah. Chewy over 78 is also viable considering it's at support. Will most likely end up just trading SPY off this range between yesterday's low and pre-market high. Awesome to hear, David. And just like I was saying earlier, the BB system, guys, it's literally what most of these levels are right now. So if you play this and you're looking below the previous day low, this is going to be good for puts. It is only like 18 cents away already though, so it would be nice to go chart bigger time frame levels and see for yourself, but let's start over. Oh, that's right, they don't have like a super long time frame yet. Just getting my range. When I go to the weekly and do that, I'm just getting the range around current price, so I don't have to worry about like all this when I go back in here. So then I could just zoom in on this and focus on everything here. So I'm going to mark that emerging candle, that one. Just marking my main peaks to get everything out of the way. Alright, so that's pretty much all the range I need right now. I can go ahead and mark a little bit above it. Let's mark our level there. Got all that. Alright, let's focus on this because we have everything we can there. Solid range there. Let's mark the low of this move. We are right at it. Yeah, so we have everything we need now. We can mark this range here. Because you got a level there, support, resistance all right here. Support, so that's a very useful level. So now we can zoom in. Oh my gosh, Chewy has a beautiful range. You guys were already looking at Chewy. You should probably play Chewy. This is why I was excited for today. I knew that these pre-markets were going to be tight if we didn't bleed or just pump randomly. This is amazing for Chewy, so you can move this down just a hair. That's 76.10. So that'll be your break below on Chewy. Break above on Chewy, you can play pre-market high, or you can wait for this level here, or you can just wait for the bigger time frame levels. It's kind of up to you what you want to do for break above. Just depends how aggressive you are or how confident you are in this play. I genuinely think it's gonna bleed though. Whatever trend line I had on earlier had me pretty sure of that. Let's see. So if I just mark, I'm going from low I'm trying to focus on this wick or some sort of body here. So let's just mark the body just to get that out of the way. As you can see, we already kind of broke that. So let's see what the most passive trend line we could draw is. Let's go from wick to wick. Even that we're breaking, yeah. So we're definitely going to probably bleed. If we get more rising volume, that would be more certain. But Chewy is definitely looking good below 76. All right, so that's what I think of Chewy. Whoever asked that, Mr. KD, that's what I would focus on. Open and close levels. What do you mean? Do I normally mark open and close levels? Oh, like not the highs and lows. Yeah, I always mark like the meat of the bone of the candle. Yeah, I always mark the main meat is how I see it. That's just what I see is more sure of the move. Of course, when you mark from wick to wick, you're just marking the most passive version. So it's kind of like just another way of viewing it. Is how I see it. A lot of people always like only do one way or the other, but I think it just kind of depends on what you're looking at. But I think it is most important to go from meat of the bone to meat of the bone, not using the wick. But it also depends on what the wick is. Chewy and AMD are sitting on their 200 EMAs on the daily. Well, that's very important. Yeah, so looks like Chewy is on a very, very important average line, is what Living Waterway is saying, as well as AMD, which I've been waiting for this one to try and turn back around. As you can see, it's been tanking. It's like right here, I'd probably go from the wick, but then I'd go to the meat of the bone, like here, because that's like the more angled of that move. Which in other situations, you see people go from like here to here, and then they have this line like way out here. So it just kind of depends on who you are and what you think is more confident. But I do it based on what I think looks better. Like right there, that's more sure of that angle there. That's all the resistances in a good angle. And really, the new resistance is like right here, because you've already kind of had your leg down. We broke out of the leg down. And now it's kind of like this. This is kind of like what you're watching is this. So there's a little bit of difference in price action there. That's why it looks kind of crazy. Oh, what's up, D-Touch? I didn't know that was you. That's all you had to say, man. Glad to see you in here. But yeah, bro, Chewy. I'd say Chewy is a really good watch. That was a good pick. You and David covered a lot of good analysis on that both in here and in chat, so I'd say that looks good. It's already 8:11, guys. I already kind of went past my limit for this. I'm going to have to go join chat pretty soon and get that stream going. But if you guys want to join chat, please click the link in the bio. If you need any kind of link, please reach out to me. But yeah, see you guys. Thank you for being here. Please leave a like if you can. It does help the channel and it does help the streams.